Our last video looked at when we were adding numbers that took us over 10. What we're going to look at today is, well, is there a better method of doing that? What happens when we go above just simply adding, say, a 9 to a 6? What happens when they're bigger numbers? So we're going to look at how to add numbers together in a more advanced way, and also when we want to add say a 2-digit number to a 1-digit number. That's a number made up of two numbers, such as 63, and a 1-digit number is a number made up of one number, so 6, 7 or 8 or something. First of all, though, we're going to look at what the numbers represent in this number here, what the different figures represent. So I know that this number is 387, and what tells me that is we've got 3 columns of numbers. The first column, the one furthest to the right by here, represents the units. So every number in there, for every one in there, it's worth 1. So if I've got 6 ones, it's worth 6. If I've got an 8, it's worth 8. If I've got a 4, it's worth 4, and so on. The next column is the tens. So the tens, for every number in there, it represents 10 units. So if I've got a 7, it actually represents 70, not 7. If I've got a 4, it represents 40. And in this case, if I've got the 8, it represents 80. And the last one we're going to do today is the hundreds column. So in the hundreds column, we've got every unit or every number being worth 100. So if I had 2, it's 200. If I had 8, it's 800. Or in this case, if it's 3, it's 300. So I got 3 hundreds, 8 tens, which is 80, and 7 units, giving me 387. So yesterday we looked at what happens when we're adding two one-unit numbers that take us over 10. We saw how we could do it on our fingers, but there are better ways of doing that. This is the way you should be doing it, which is carrying a number. So yesterday we looked at, say, something like 8 plus 7, it gave us 15. So what we do is we write the 5 underneath the units, because there's 5 units in 15, and we write the tens underneath the tens column. The tens column would be along here if there were any tens. Now I added the tens numbers, and neither of these numbers have any tens in them, so we've got no tens up here. And then finally I have to add the one that's underneath on. So no tens up by here, adding the one on gives me 1, and I know my answer is 15. Going on to my next question, we've got 16 add 5. Well, 6 add 5 we can work out is 11. So we write the units one underneath the units column and then carry 1 over. I add up the tens columns, so there's no tens down here, it's just the plus sign, and there's a 110 by here, so I've got 110 up by here, but I've got to add on the 1 underneath, so that takes me up to 2, and I know my answer is 21. So one last example, we've got 23 add 9 here. Well, 9 add 3 is 12, so the 2 gets written underneath the units column and the 1 gets carried over by here. I write it underneath because there's a 1 in the tens column for 12, 1, 2. I look at the tens up by here, there's only the 2 tens up by here, there's no tens underneath, so 2 add nothing is 2 lots of 10. And then I've got to add on the 1 underneath to give me 3 lots of 10. So that's how we add 2-digit numbers to 1-digit numbers when they take us over the tens. The next video is going to show us how to do what we call long addition, when basically it's anything higher when we're adding 2-digit numbers to 2-digit numbers, or any multiple unit numbers, or units made up of multiple numbers to another large number.